FDC to NRM. Power and Njala are going to do this. The FDC is still intact. It is working normally. You know, we are not meeting Museveni and his... You know, this is... You've asked this question N times on this show. And I have told you straight to your face and to the face of the public that nobody received Museveni's money, as far as I am concerned, and as far as the leadership of the FDC is concerned.
One of the issues that you're battling with now is the question of legitimacy. After the scathing attacks that you got over the years, over the months regarding this money, how are you resolving it? The
legitimacy question was resolved, as I said. There are people who were within the leadership of the FDC who feared elections, internal elections. And they wanted to drive us into a political crisis in the party by asking for a postponement of elections. You know, our period of being in office is inelastic. You cannot extend it beyond a certain time. And this is what our friends wanted. They wanted to play political tricks on us. We said, we are too clever for you. We will not accept that. Elections have to take place. Come, let's compete. Get elected or not elected. And this is the path we took. We took that path. We are not in the FDC to nurse people's interests. No.
Do you miss Besigye?
Personal interests.
Do you miss Besigye, Najanankumbi?
Well, anybody not participating in the actions of the FDC, in the activities of the FDC, is a loss to us. The same way, Betty Kamia still remains a loss to us. She left us. The same way, Njala Sebugwao will continue craving that she should be with us because she made a contribution to us, and many others, Beatrice Anywar, Alex Onzima, a number of our founder members who left, including General Gregory Mugisha-Muntu, Ali Salaso, and the list is long. But you know, people have choices. The choice to stay within the FDC folds, and the choice not to stay within the FDC folds.
Yeah, but Besigye, the founding president, you can't just count him just as any other member.
For us as FDC, every individual in the party counts. The foot soldier, that chairman in the village, does a job to keep us at the top. The chairman in the parish, in the constituency, in the district, has got a responsibility. That sympathizer who is not a member, a supporter of the FDC, is respected. And I'm telling you, we have proved that the FDC is not a one-man show. Never. When people left the party, we kept going. We soldiered on.
What remains of FDC without Besigye?
Well, you can ask the question, what remained of FDC without Sebugwao? What remained with the FDC without Betty Kamia? What remained with of the FDC when we lost some of our prominent leaders, Dr. Chigundu, Sam Kaleganjuba, very, very strong guys, John Butime, these were people holding positions, and you know, because of nature, they drifted, they moved away from the stage. Anybody can say, you know, something about the departure of Gregory Mugisha-Muntu, as I have said, as can be said about Dr. Kizza Besigye. I want to say to you, and you people in the media, we're also responsible for promoting this, the death of FDC. You have spelled death on us several times, including the media, including NBS, but we have kept moving on. And so, our announcement to the country and to the world is that FDC is not about an individual.
Yeah, but
it's not about an individual.
Okay, from your heart,
that individual you are talking about, excuse me, that individual you are talking about was not there in the election of 2021. He decided to stay home. We said we will get a candidate, and I was identified. went to the elections. Don't mind our performance. We reaped some dividends out of that election. And so, we are prepared to move on. We are not short of leaders. Amuriat may be struck down today. Njala may get out of the stage. All the others who are fighting Jaksabit may be out, but the FDC will continue. I can assure you.
What are the possibilities of seeing Amuriat back on the ballot paper for 2026?
It is too early for us to talk about that. That will be determined by the owners of the party.
But are you not seeing the ambition?
Well,
do you feel motivated?
Look here, I was already there. I'm presidential material, my friend. So is the case with the others. Njala is presidential material. Jaksabit is presidential material. And we have many other leaders who are presidential material, who could become president of this country. So we are lost of choice. And I believe that maybe that would be a turning point in the history of the FDC. But I think I came to this show not to talk about.
No, that's significant. That's very significant. You came to talk FDC politics.
I didn't.
And in FDC, as we speak, there are two recognized factions. You can't run away from this.
Recognized by who?
Big traction, yes.
Demonstrate. That in this country and to lead this country in accordance with the aspirations of the Ugandan people. So it's really not, we are not competing with NUP. That is one thing I want you to underline. We are not in competition with NUP, and I have talked about this several times here. We seek to take power in this country. So we are not going to waste time, talking about the other political parties who are in competition with us, who are in the same bottle with us, put in the same bottle by Museveni. We are not. We are going to spend time, and this is what is playing out in our rallies, critiquing the NRM regime, their failures to meet the needs of the Ugandan people. Their failures to run this country well. Their failure to rid this country of corruption. Their inability to uplift the local person. Well, and these are the issues that we should be talking about. Not spending 1 hour here talking about actions that
there is a huge sentiment that as we head to 2026 election, it's very paramount for political organizations to forge alliances. It looks as though there's no love lost between NUP and FDC na Jana Nkumbi.
FDC.
Yes.
Can I correct you?
FDC Njala Nkumbi.
There is no FDC Njala Nkumbi. There is no FDC Katonga. I don't know how much I have to spend teaching you this. We have FDC. And as we continue with the show, you should refer to
FDC Njala Nkumbi.
No. You are not a good learner, Njala. And as I said, we should send you back on leave again. So anyway, we are up to our game, as FDC. We are up to our game. As far as formation of alliances are concerned.
Is it on the cards anywhere?
Well, we will always be willing to speak to each other, within the ranks of politics.
But does NUP appear forthcoming, or you seem to be in some kind of rivalry mode?
We really need to understand NUP better. I think that we need to know what they stand for. Up until now, we do not know what they stand for. And I want to say that ahead of the elections of 2021, and again, this is a point where we had some problems with our founding president. We were forced into a meeting with NUP, and I will say this maybe for the first time on air. And this meeting took place on the 16th of December 2019 at the residence of Wechitibwa Sebugwo Joyce Nabosa. And the meeting was intended for us to agree to field a single presidential candidate. And our friends from NUP came with a fixed mind that must be Kyagulanyi Robert Sentamu. And we said, no, it doesn't work that way. A meeting of that kind does not decide for the FDC. I was very firm. I was very strong on that. And I said to the meeting, we will go to our National Delegates Conference, or at the minimum, to our National Council to determine this matter. When the matter was taken to the National Council, the Council said, no, we are going to field candidates at all levels as far as we have the capacity in all positions. Wherever we have the capacity to field a candidate, we will field a candidate. And so I was fielded as a presidential flag bearer. So it's not upon me to determine whether there is going to be a cooperation, whether there is going to be an alliance, whether we are going to agree or disagree. It's upon the owners of the party, represented by the organs of the party, the National Council and the National Delegates Conference.
Do you find NUP any outfit that you'd willingly ally with?
I don't want to arrogate the responsibility of judging NUP to myself. No, I'm not going to do that. I think that NUP has its business.
What has taken you forever to understand them?
What has taken it forever for them to understand us? In any kind of political agreement, it takes two to tango. It's not about just one party. It's about the other party as well. And I would like you to ask of NUP the same question when they come here. Say, why don't you associate with the FDC? Why don't you?
With the FDC, Njala Nkumbi, because...
Please don't take me there again. With the FDC. You are not a good student. If you were my student in class, I would give you a 0. It is the FDC.
Njala
for the FDC.
Okay, fine.
The FDC.
For your convenience, yes.
And you are free to apply to become a member. You're actually free. The FDC that has pioneered e-registration of members.
In the litany of challenges that the FDC is facing at the moment, what is most pressing? Is it about reaching out to renegades for reconciliation, or still pursuing the ball without the original members who were firebrands?
We are going to move along, continue with whoever we have, while trying to persuade new members to join us.
New
members to join us. By the way, talking about new members, we have an e-registration. Effectively, for nearly 2 years, membership cards hadn't been renewed. And so, technically, you would be right to say we were relying on the last membership card, which violates the Constitution. And so we decided that we should have an e-registration, digital registration, the first political party to go digital in this country. Not even the oldest political parties have matched us on this. The UPC, the Democratic Party that are over 60 years,
yeah, but
the NRM that has been
okay, that's not such a big feat.
It is
in pursuing
because
change.
You know we are now working towards efficiency. If you are going to underrate this, let me tell you, it takes somebody just to click their phones, www.fdc.ug, and then follow the procedures of registration and get registered as a member. And this is mandatory for everybody who wants to declare themselves member of the FDC. Otherwise, then they are just going to be mere supporters or sympathizers of the FDC. So the point I'm trying to make is this. We want to deal at the level of decision making with people who have got a membership card. And so this e-registration that we are rolling out across the country, very beautiful idea. And I want to tell you it's been embraced in Soroti and Mbale alone.
Is this typical of FDC that was once a mass party that had a huge following and you're now reducing your numbers to E?
You need to distinguish between members of a party and supporters and sympathizers of a party. And I want to tell you that, drawing from the example of the Conservative Party of the UK, you know, and even Labour Party that has just won the elections in the UK by a landslide, has about 400,000 registered members in a democracy of 45 million people, voters, registered voters. And so we have come to the realization that there is a need for us to distinguish between members of a party and supporters of a party. And this is what we are doing. It doesn't matter whether we have 100,000 registered members only. What matters is, can this 100,000 cause a mindset, a shift in the settings of somebody's mind to vote for the FDC?
You seem to be now adopting.
You see?
You seem now to be adopting the Mugisha Muntu style of working, because you got into the presidency of FDC as an activist, not this kind of sophisticated fellow office kind of work, operation. Has there been a paradigm shift in the way Amuriat works, from activism now to going and digital?
Amuriat is the same person, the same activist, the same fighter that you knew about 20 years ago, that you've known about in the last 10 years, that you knew about from 2016 to now. He's the same activist.
No, this way of running affairs seems to be the Mugisha Muntu style.
Well, it is those people you are registered that you know can change the mindset of people when they go out there to cause them to go into activism, to cause them to go into an election, to cause them to go for street protests. Activism has got to have an infrastructure. And that is what we need to understand.
Are you just waking up to this?
No,
because
I have known
the
this.
way you used to do things is totally different. What explains the paradigm shift?
Well, the environment has changed as well. You see, we got to a certain stage where we were almost set under the leadership of Dr. Kizza Besigye. We were set to go. But then the narrative that came in 2018 on account of People Power Movement and later NUP That said, who told you that elections do not work? You cannot have been in elections 4 times and failed, and now you say that elections do not work? Go get an identity card. Go and vote. Leave the rest to us. Now, that shifted the thinking of Ugandans to believe, okay, this popularist sings very nicely, has got the youth behind him, can remove Museveni from power. At that time, how would you engage in activism when people were geared towards elections? And this mindset has continued up to now. The political environment has changed drastically. And so we have got to reverse the thinking of people to go back so that they're in sync with the notion that activism, after all, works. We tried it with FDC, we tried elections with FDC, it failed. We tried it with NUP, it didn't work out.
Could it be that
and I see that there can be a revival of activism. But what is important is the timing of when you revive it.
Have you gotten to the reality that maybe you need to put the struggle to remove Museveni on a break and now work towards self-preservation of the Forum for Democratic Change?
Would have done injustice to the population. Would have. We had rather just close shop but continue fighting Museveni, but not enjoy, to put things in order within the FDC and lose focus of the liberation struggle. So we are going to, regardless of our formation within the FDC, pursue the struggle that we started over 20 years ago. The struggle to liberate the people of this country.
As we take a break,
continue with it.
As we take a break, you're navigating too many tough waters, realigning the party, getting rid of renegades, and pursuing change. Don't you think one is eating up the other?
By doing all this multitasking is when you will see whom the true leaders are. If we're not up to the task, it would have collapsed long ago, I will tell you this. But the very fact that we can still go out in the countryside and get huge numbers mobilized. In fact, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the leaders of TESO, the Honorable Atan Okia Moses, who was the chairman of the organizing committee of the Soroti event, together with the mayor, the division mayor of Soroti, the special presidential envoy to Karamoja and Teso, the Honorable Paul Omer, for gathering 14,000, estimated, that rally was 14,000 strong. I would like to thank Mr. Haji Masa Musa.
Who did the counting?
Well, it is an estimation. You can say, we had people taking, sections of that crowd. I want to thank Haji Masa Musa and his deputy, says Mafabi, for mobilizing nearly an estimated 24,000 people who turned up in Mbale. And I will tell you that because we are paying attention to everything, we are paying attention to mobilization of the population and recruitment, we are paying attention to talking to our renegades, our friends who decided to leave. We are paying attention to recruiting people from within the NRM. We are also paying attention to the political occurrences that happen in this country, like by-elections, snap elections that happen. We are not going to just choose one line. That would be really disastrous for the FDC.
Well, we're taking a very short break, still looking at the